I then realized that outside of medicine, I didn't really have a life. Hi guys, if you're new here, welcome, and if you're a returning subscriber, thank you. My name's Ayo and I'm a GP trainee currently on maternity leave, and today's video I was hoping that we could just be chill and have an honest chat about something that I didn't know would be difficult and yet so beautiful at the same time, and this is like finding my village as a new mom in the UK. Honestly, I really didn't think about how difficult, how stressful, how nerve-wracking it would be, but I'm hoping that I can have a chat with yourselves about that and how it's going so far. So let's hop right to it. I remember like at the start of maternity leave, I was like, you know what, this is the first real pause that I'm having since I actually left medical school. I'm gonna take advantage of it. I'm going to rest. I'm going to really recuperate. And honestly, I did rest at least before I gave birth, and I did sort of recuperate and kind of like have a plan or some sort of idea of a plan. But I started to worry as I kind of like journeyed into the postpartum period, and it was majorly born out of the fact that I then realized that outside of medicine, I didn't really have a life. Like, I didn't have concrete hobbies. I didn't have like sports or something that I really enjoyed to do and I could do from like the comfort of my home, or maybe even just going out with friends. I really didn't have friends outside of the medical field. Like, it seemed like the length and breadth of my life was the hospital, and I think even more so since I moved to the UK and trying to understand the new system and trying to really become competent, at least to a good extent, in my field. So thinking about all of that just made it seem a little more daunting socially, trying to navigate the path outside of medicine as a new mom in a new culture postpartum. Thankfully, my mom came around, and that was like really a breath of fresh air, because I think I had the opportunity to kind of just relax and know that I had company. To be honest, I really didn't need her to do like some manual like work or some sort of like significant heavy lifting during that period. I just really needed like a companion. I needed someone that I could wake up every morning and share my frustrations with, and sometimes not even get a response, but just get a pat on the back that I was doing a good job. That's really what I needed, and she was honestly that for me, and it really blessed me that period. But once she left, I think the reality just sunk in again. Like, I didn't even know my neighbor at that time. Like, the reality really set in, because by this time my husband had been done with like paternity leave, so really it was just me and the baby. Thankfully, at this point we had moved into a new apartment, and I think this is where I really struck gold. I would literally say that I had like the best stroke of luck, but honestly I feel like it was God's favor, because my neighbor was the one that really actually put me into the space of, you need to find your village, you need to find your community, you need to actually get to know other moms in the area and figure out how you're going to enjoy this maternity leave period, because it doesn't come back again. And I think like getting that encouragement from her really helped me. And honestly, I think what I love most about what she did is that she didn't just encourage me. Like, she wasn't just like, you need to go out, you need to make sure that you have a good time. She wasn't just like she literally, once we moved into the area, she was like, you know what, I'm going to take you out, I'm going to show you all the areas in town, I'm going to take you to the park, I'm going to take you to have a coffee, just so that you feel comfortable in this new space. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is like a godsend, this is an angel, literally, because this is what I'm trying to do, but I don't know how to go about it. Honestly, super grateful for her every single time. And it wasn't like she just suggested it, she followed up. And even more than following up, she actually did take us out, she actually did take us to coffee. And that coffee, she started introducing me to like people in the town, and initially I was like, you know what, my social anxiety, I don't know if it's able to take everything in, but I found myself really enjoying the moment. And I think like because I had really needed that kind of support socially, it was just like, you know, when timing actually meets opportunity, that's literally what it was. So eventually she introduced me to like some moms with their babies and everything. And honestly, after when I got home, I felt so full. Like I felt like I I had been refueled. I think that's the word to use. So I think another thing that happened when we had gone out was that she actually like was asking people around. Like she hears a lot about, because she's much older, she's like in her 60s, and she was like, I hear a lot about mom and baby classes, and there's some in the area. Can you suggest some to her? Like she would literally ask the barista, like, oh, I hear a lot about these places, I see them sometimes, can you like suggest this to her? And literally they brought out cards from these different mom classes, and they're like, you could Google this, you could check this out. And there and then during the coffee date, she literally made me book one of the classes. So just a bit of a backstory. I remember like after I had gotten home and the excitement had sort of like run its course and gradually fizzled out, the reality dawned on me, and I was like, you know what, I've just booked like to attend this walk with these women that I don't know, and I'm actually going to have to socially integrate into this group. What if I stick out like a sore thumb? What if it's cliquey? What if it's just not for me? Like I honestly had so much anxiety suddenly well up within me, and I think it's just because I've not really had reason to be in like a sudden pool of diverse individuals. Like I've always been in the hospital where there's a common ground, and that common ground is medicine. But for some reason I had forgotten that these women have a common ground and they're all coming because of that common ground of motherhood, and also desiring a community that they can thrive within. But like that wasn't what was at the top of my mind. What was at the top of my mind was like, oh my gosh, I've set myself up, I'm gonna hate it, I'm gonna feel left out, and it's gonna be a bad time. But I thank God that I didn't listen to all those thoughts, and I actually did go. And boy, do I tell you, I had a lovely time. It was like a park walk. Funny enough, my neighbor actually walked me there, because she was like, if I look at the group and it looks a bit awkward to me, I could just like make an excuse and then walk back home. But like she'll walk me there so that like I could calm my nerves. Honestly, she's a godsend, 100% godsend. But yeah, so an attending, I just felt like we had a common purpose, and that was making sure our children were good. Like we were able to support our children well. So conversations flowed seamlessly, and it honestly at that point, it didn't matter where you come from, it didn't matter what your previous experiences were. There was a common like goal, there was a common ground, and that common ground allowed for a diverse area of conversations to stem forth. And honestly, there was no dull moment, and I really loved it. Coming back from that, I was like, you know what, I can do this. Like I can go to random classes, show up, and if I don't like it, I walk out. Because I actually did that. I went for a very random thing, I had good conversations, I felt enriched, and I came back home safe. And that kind of prompted me to go online, start booking classes, and that's where I am now. Like most of the classes that I booked and went to for the first time, I still go to them now. And I have this particular class, it's a dance class, and literally it's the highlight of my week. I honestly I feel like I've achieved so much on that particular day, because I walk there, which is a distance for me. And then I have the dance class, and then I walk back. And beautifully enough, like in all the interactions and all the meeting people and all my neighbors introducing me around, she also introduced me to someone who just recently gave birth around the time that I moved. And honestly, she's been like a pal. Whenever we feel bored and tired of our home, we go over to hers and we have a nice time, and we burn ourselves out, and we come back home and we have a good sleep. But basically what I'm saying is that it's actually possible. And even though this isn't your normal, even though your culture is quite different, you can actually like step out of your comfort zone and find something that's worth having. I think about going back to work and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's where I'm having anxiety now. It's so weird. But more on that later. But I feel like I've grown so much in my social confidence just from this experience, and it's just beautiful for me to see. I know it's not something tangible to kind of like see or to like bear witness to. It's more like me being able to kind of like have that knowing that, oh, I've integrated a lot better during this period of my maternity leave, and I'm really happy about that. So I think I have some practical tips if you're in a situation like me, based on my own story, based on my own experience. And I think the first thing I would say is just be open and be vulnerable. I feel everyone's kind of like happy to help because it makes them feel like they're doing something bigger than themselves. And sometimes when you're open and vulnerable and you ask questions and people respond to those questions, even if it's as simple as, oh, how did you start weaning your baby, or what type of carrier do you have, it kind of makes them feel like, particularly when they know the answer, it kind of makes them feel like they have something to offer, and that kind of forms a good ground for the relationship. So being open, just being a bit more friendly and saying hi to the random person. I always love going to the parks now because I meet random dogs and their owners, because of like I have a baby, their owners are so lovely with the baby, and then the fact that the dog is attracted to baby prams or something like that. But like I feel like that forms basis for most of our chats, and it might not be deep, it might not be anything like, like it might not be a sisterhood. But at the end of the day, it's supposed to just get you through this season, and somehow somewhere you might find that one person that becomes like a sister, who knows. Another thing I would say is like be the village that you want to have. And I've honestly tried doing this more and more. It's something that my mom always taught me actually, and I think I've been blessed to actually have that kind of favor returned back to me. But always kind of give the care that you want people to give to you. So if you have someone who's just given birth in your area, be kind enough to like go get some fruits for them, make a simple soup or meal for them. Just make them feel seen, make them feel comfortable around you. You might be the community that they're looking for, and in so doing, they gain somebody and you gain someone as well. The last thing I would say is to show up even if it's awkward. There are tons of like baby classes, baby and me classes, dance classes, swim classes. There's lots going on. Like in Manchester where I stay, there's lots going on. Like per area, there's lots. The dance class I mentioned has like several branches across the city. So I feel like there's lots of opportunity for you to actually try finding your community. So if one doesn't work for you, you could try the other, but just show up, just start. And I honestly think that it could actually make your maternity leave period, maybe possibly the best period of your life up until this present moment. Yeah, so that's me just reminiscing on, or just feeling very grateful. I think that's the word I would say. Just feeling very grateful as to how much of a village I've been able to find in this season, and hoping that it keeps getting better, because I know that with every change, with him going to nursery, with him starting preschool and things like that, I know that there's going to be a need to change those communities and to kind of morph them into the community I need per time. But I feel that I've been armed with the necessary equipment with the necessary skills, that's the word, to do that better and without fear. So yeah, so if you enjoyed this and it resonates with you somehow, please let me know in the comments. I would love to hear your own version or your own experience on maternity leave and how it's worked out for you, or how you've planned to kind of maximize this period. And then leave a like. I feel like if you leave a like, it helps more people to see it, which helps me to kind of reach out to more people, which is what I'm hoping for with this channel. And also subscribe, because there's so much more coming. I'm going back to work, so that's going to be like a whole new thing starting. So have a lovely week. Bye.